So if you're an infielder, you probably heard of these training gloves, right? These little baby gloves made for adult-sized hands, or paddles like this one that can help you become more accurate with your infield play. So in today's video, we'll talk about some of the different options in training gloves and whether or not they're gonna be right for you. I wanna mention that this is a partnership video between myself and justgloves.com. They sent me all these different models of fielding trainers just so I could talk through them with you. Ultimately, I don't care what kind of training glove you end up buying, as long as you find the right one that fits you and your budget. These are pretty good tools in my opinion. So let's talk about the different types. So in my right hand, I've got paddle or pancake trainers. So you have the really simple, piece of foam with some finger stalls in the back, and these are awesome for teams. You can get these in a 6-pack, and you can bring them out, have a great infield station. These are really economical and they work super well. And then this is the more sort of luxury pancake trainer. This is the KK model by Valle Sports. This is a really cool glove, to be quite honest. It's a pancake trainer, but allows you to get a little bit more feel where you can kind of squeeze the ball. And then we have other types. There's lots of like little iterations, but basically what the other types are, basically just regular training gloves, where this thing is 10 inches and it's got a kind of a longer palm, like a little bit more palm, a little less web, and really tiny little baby fingers. And these come in lots of different brands and models. That one was an All-Star. This is a Shoeless Joe. And this one here is a Wilson. So which of these should you choose? What is the use case for each one? Let's talk about it. All right, so when it comes to pancake gloves, these are when you're gonna square up to ground balls. These are not gonna be suitable for backhands, for forehands. These are when you're funneling something up to your middle and you're working on having soft hands, because they will clank off of this paddle. And so this is gonna have a specific use case. This is not gonna be the best overall tool, because you can't necessarily take a normal infield with a pancake trainer. This is gonna be more about very specific infield drills that are hit more at your center. Now with a traditional training glove, this is basically just a small glove. So you could play catch with this. If it's little kids, I don't really recommend this because you don't want to eat one in the mouth. But I played catch with this Shoeless Joe model with my buddy, and we had a pretty normal catch. I'm catching everything here already, so the extra length doesn't really make a difference for me, considering I've been playing catch my entire life. I've caught probably a million thrown balls to me at this point. Is the use case catching fly balls with these? I would say no, because you don't want to risk it nicking off, hitting yourself in the mouth, coming down from 50 feet. So I would really caution you against doing fly ball work with a training glove. Really stick just to infield. But these are going to be the best all around. So parents, if you're looking just to get one for your kid, this will work on balls hit to their center. It's not giving them quite as much feedback as the pancake trainer on balls to their middle, but they can have a completely normal infield session, take throws and make transfers. They can do ground balls, all sorts of ways. They can charge the ball, field it, backhand, forehand, everything. So if you want one all-in-one glove, you want one of the regular fielding trainers that just look like a regular standard baseball glove. So that said, let me take you through some of the options so you can see a little bit more about what each one offers, and you can see if any of them are right for you. All right, so first let's talk about pancake trainers. So this is the Just Gloves model, is a traditional, pancake trainer, just a piece of pretty rigid foam. And on the back, this is actually a nice feature. This concavity, is that the right word? Vocab word? This is where your palm goes, and then you've got 3 fingers here, thumb and pinky. You've got your pancake to take ground balls with. Now, this is a great team solution because these are inexpensive, and you could roll up to practice with a 6-pack of these. Your players are going to have a great station work, with their pancake trainer. Now, if you want something that is more for your kid, like this is their pancake trainer that they take to practice. This Valle is pretty amazing. This is their KK model. You can see the embossed right there. And this also has a little palm pad here. This is a really unique product. Like, to be honest, this kind of blew me away. I've been in baseball quite a long time, and seeing the way these training gloves have changed it's honestly really cool. So this is the same thing, except it's got a little less rigidity. It has this little baby, web right there. And so it's still a pancake. You still are not gonna be able to glove this thing. You would not want to play catch with this. Please do not play catch with this. But for ground balls, it's just gonna give you a little more feel to squeeze, and maybe find that pocket a little bit. So still a pancake trainer, still all the same things that we're gonna be working on when we're just working on squaring up and funneling the ground ball. But man, this is a really innovative, cool glove. And these are just basically traditional baseball gloves, but tiny sized for training. So first, let's look at this Wilson. This is 10-inch. This is a really handsome little glove. This feels really good. The leather is relatively soft. Like, this is right out of the wrapper. and I can squeeze it pretty well. Really nice little glove, well made, thick laces. Like, this thing will hold up for years to come. This All-Star, this has got a nice palm pad in the center. This one is also 10 inches, very similar shape to our friend the Wilson. This one has a little bit more of a flat shape through the palm, and this one is a little bit stiffer as well, but it's still not crazy stiff. Like, most of the stiffness here is through the heel and the thumb and the pinky, but the leather is still relatively soft. But if you do want a little bit stiffer glove, it's going to be a little bit stiffer than this friendly fellow over here. But overall, these are very, very similar, both really well made. I really like the camel and black color scheme myself. All-Star makes some really good products. And then here is the sleeper pick. This is the Shoeless Joe 900T. This is their training model. This is 9-inch. So this is 1 inch smaller than this guy and this guy. I think this throwback is just such a cool thing to have. I love the Americana. Like, I love this vintage look. And this is a well-made glove. It's got thick laces. It feels good on my hand, just the same as the other ones do. But it's just very different. So if you want something to impress your buddies and you're like, hey, I got this cool vintage training glove, like, I think that's pretty awesome. So this is a nice offering by Shoeless Joe, and I'm a big fan of the style. All right, so thanks so much for watching. Again, I want to thank my partners in this video, justgloves.com. You will find links to these gloves and others in the description below. So thanks again for watching. If you have any questions or gloves I didn't cover, feel free to leave me a comment, and I'll see you here in the next video.